The construction of Burj Khalifa was in full swing. Against all odds, the massive structure somehow stood tall, overcoming one fatal obstacle after another. The engineers were finally breathing a sigh of relief. And just then, it was time to install the exterior window panels. Little did they know, this routine task was about to trigger one of the most bizarre and terrifying engineering crises in human history. Welcome to James' Documentary. Today, we are uncovering the thrilling and untold story behind the creation of the Burj Khalifa. Let us dive right in. Engineers figured that putting up glass panels was not rocket science, so they barely gave it a second thought. But then, the unforgiving Dubai desert heat struck. The moment these glass panels were installed at the top of the world's tallest building, the internal temperature of the Burj Khalifa skyrocketed to a staggering 100 degrees Celsius, 212 degrees Fahrenheit, during the day. At that boiling temperature, entering the building was out of the question, let alone surviving inside. Because of this single oversight, the entire construction of the Burj Khalifa ground to a complete halt for 18 grueling months. In the heart of the desert, humanity's grandest dream was frozen. Millions of dollars hung in the balance, and a dark question loomed over the world. Was the most ambitious project in history bound for catastrophic failure? But just when all hope seemed lost, an incredible breakthrough occurred, instantly reviving the dying dreams of the management and engineers. So, what happened next? How was this megastructure saved from ruin? To this day, the Burj Khalifa remains the tallest and most mind-blowing man-made structure on Earth. Piercing through the clouds, this architectural marvel stands at an astounding 2,717 feet and cost a whopping $1.5 billion to build. But this legendary journey was never easy. When the plans for this colossal tower were first drawn up in Dubai, the ultimate adversary was nature itself. You see, the ground beneath the Burj Khalifa is not solid rock or bedrock. It is miles and miles of shifting, unstable desert sand. Erecting a structure of this unprecedented weight on loose sand meant it could collapse or sink into the earth at any given moment. Engineers lost sleep over a seemingly impossible riddle. How do you support millions of tons of steel and concrete on nothing but sand? Engineers were forced to question everything. Was this location even remotely appropriate for a skyscraper of this magnitude? Was it truly viable, or was science about to be humiliated by the forces of nature? After countless scientific simulations and tests, they engineered a revolutionary solution. Beneath the tower, they wove an invisible safety net. They drove 192 massive, solid steel reinforced friction piles deep into the earth, cutting through the sand. These were not ordinary pillars. They plunged nearly 164 feet, 50 meters, underground, anchoring the building by sheer friction and distributing the massive weight evenly. But the real nightmare was just getting started. How on earth do you pump thousands of tons of wet concrete straight into the sky? Now, to do this, they designed a specialized, ultra-high-pressure pumping system, forcing the heavy concrete mix up through massive iron pipes. But there was a deadly catch. In Dubai's blistering heat, the concrete was flash-sizzling and turning into solid stone inside the pipes before even reaching the top. If the concrete hardened inside the pipeline even once, the entire multi-million-dollar system would be ruined forever. To prevent this catastrophe, engineers engineered a brilliant workaround. They decided to pump exclusively at night, mixing the concrete with tons of ice-cold water and using the world's most powerful high-pressure pumps top blast it into the heavens. Defying the laws of physics, the core concrete skeleton of the Burj Khalifa finally stood tall. This brings us back to the fatal twist we mentioned at the very beginning of our video. After few glass panels were installed, a devastating design flaw became glaringly obvious. Due to Dubai's extreme climate, the moment these standard glass sheets went up, the internal temperature of the Burj Khalifa surged to an unlivable 100 degrees Celsius, 212 degrees Fahrenheit. As a result, Keeping this massive tower cool required 10 times more electricity than originally budgeted, threatening to bankrupt the entire project. A grueling 18 months passed as the team desperately scrambled for a solution to this nightmare. Then came the savior of this sinking ship, a visionary engineer named John Zarafa. He brought the ultimate solution. He manufactured a completely new, high-tech variation of coated glass, which acted like a giant mirror, reflecting the blistering heat and harmful ultraviolet UV rays back out into space. But there was a catch. This revolutionary glass came with a heavy price tag. A single glass panel cost a staggering $2,000. And to cover the entire skyscraper, they needed over 24,000 of these panels, raising the glass budget to an astronomical $3.6 million. But with no other options on the table, management had to bite the bullet. The incredibly expensive proposal was greenlit. To save precious time, they built a massive, state-of-the-art glass factory directly on the construction site to manufacture these custom aluminum-framed glass panels at breakneck speed. Working around the clock, they pulled off the impossible and completed all 24,000 panels in just 4 months. Challenge number 8. Finally, the construction of the Burj Khalifa was physically complete. The electricity, plumbing, and cutting-edge tech were all operational. However, after years of non-stop heavy construction, the pristine tower was completely buried under a thick, blinding blanket of desert dust. Its magnificent shine was utterly lost. Polishing and cleaning the exterior glass panels became an urgent necessity. But at those heights, automated machinery was useless. Left with no alternative, a crew of daredevil window washers tied ropes around their waists and rappelled off the edge of the building, hanging in the open air thousands of feet above the ground. In these terrifying, high-wind conditions, they hand-polished all 24,000 glass panels one by one. Believe it or not, to this day, the Burj Khalifa is still cleaned using this exact same old-school, adrenaline-pumping method. Now, let us wrap things up with some mind-boggling, jaw-dropping facts about the Burj Khalifa that you probably never knew. During peak construction, over 12,000 workers risk their lives on site every single day, working in grueling shifts. Did you know you can witness the sunset twice in a single day at the Burj Khalifa? You can watch it once from the ground floor and then take the high-speed elevator to the top floor to watch the exact same sunset all over again. Speaking of the elevators, they are among the fastest and most powerful double-deck elevators in existence. To put its scale into perspective, if you stacked 3 whole Eiffel Towers on top of each other, the Burj Khalifa would still look down on them. Furthermore, the combined weight of the 24,000 glass panels used on the exterior is equivalent to the weight of 35 massive double-decker A380 aircraft. Friends, that wraps up our thriller journey for today. If this video blew your mind, make sure to smash that like button. Do not forget to share this video with your friends. Let us know your thoughts on this insane project in the comments below. And if you are new to the James Documentary family, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification icon. Stay tuned for more gripping, high-production documentaries coming your way. Thanks for watching.